What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your weekend review for July 13th, 2020. This week is a bit of a slow week. Basically, 3.10 is late, very late at this point, and I don't really know exactly, is it the work from home initiative? I don't really know what it is, but what I do know is that I don't really mind. For me, personally, I think the amount of content that is in 3.10 is very, or at least new content in 3.10 is pretty dry. So the idea of taking your time with 3.10 and making sure that the quality of life is really going to be there this time, so we can essentially play what 3.9 could have been in terms of content and features in a little bit of a better state, I hope. We'll have to see, though. So given that we don't really have any patch notes updates this week, but we do have another monthly report. So they stagger the monthly reports. They start out with the PU, and then they go to Squadron the following week, even though you get the Squadron one in your email on the same week that you get the PU one. But regardless, the Squadron 42 monthly report basically mirrors the Persistent Universe monthly report, which is pretty obvious. I think both games are being worked on at the same time, and they usually are working on similar features. The only thing I really want to point out here is that they do feel that they're going to be able to get some sort of Gen 12 renderer stuff in maybe our game, but most likely just like their build within the next few months. But regardless, that's super positive and one of those really foundational pieces that we need to see if Star Citizen is going to really be a thing or not. And then moving on to roadmap updates, we had another just kind of thin roadmap roundup where they finally added the player trading app. I know a lot of people were asking, like, is that going to be in 3.10? Because they showed it in videos, talk about it all the time, but they just didn't have it on the roadmap for some reason. But now it's on there and it's 100% done. So yes, we can confirm for sure that it's going to be in 3.10. Other things went into polishing, like, well, obviously the player trading app, and then NPC improvements finally made it. The bartender is in, guys. This infamous bartender is finally complete-ish, I guess. And then with the Reddit roadmap, you can kind of see a little bit more of 3.11's progress. So we're starting to actually see some progress being made here. Cargo decks ticked up by 15%, but the refinery decks stayed stagnant. Improved throw has been, gradually progressing every week. We've kind of seen that. And the 100i is making progress as well. And the variants for it are stagnant. I guess they want to kind of finish the foundation of what the 100i would be, and then maybe work on the differences between all the variants there as well. Now, again, moving on to video updates. This is also very thin. We had no ISC this week, and our Star Citizen Live was about a concept artist named Gavin, and he did a lot of really cool work. This is really awesome, but there really isn't anything to clip out here. There's no real discussion points, but there's a lot of cool concepts that they showed on the live stream. So if you guys are into that kind of stuff, make sure you check it out. And then other updates is actually quite thick this week as far as content goes. So they started out with a fashion in the verse post. These are those statistics posts of what we use and what we don't use, and just give little bits of information based on their analytics that they have, which is pretty cool. I find these stats to always be really interesting, but they're really they're also kind of pointless at the same time. But the one thing that isn't is, I think the big thing to take away from this is that the Invictus week was insanely busy. The difference between the amount of clothing bought at Invictus week versus other places is staggeringly different. They also did a subscriber flare post, which is basically showing that what we're getting in July for subscriber perks, I guess. So the first thing would be we're going to have subscriber versions of the new lightning gun, so the sniper and the pistol. That's for July. And just so you know, the cutoff to purchase them is today, if you want to subscribe and get those. But we don't even have the patch that they're in yet. So this is just another example where marketing is just so far behind what is actually going on with game development, or in essence, too far ahead. They say, well, it should be out then, so we plan all of our marketing around this and that, where I think marketing needs to be a little bit more maybe fluid with what's going on with the actual patches and what's available and what's not. And I think for subscriber flare, it'd probably be a good idea to not put things in the month that the patch is coming out, because maybe those things get delayed, maybe they get taken out of the patch entirely. You don't really know, right? So I don't know. Just in general, subscriber flare should probably be for like older stuff or stuff that you definitely have done, kind of things. The RSI Mantis is a subscribership for July, so feel free to check that out, as well as other perks for being a subscriber. So link will be in the description for that post if you're interested in subscribing or anything like that. The big kind of thing this week was the Foundation Festival, and the first thing I thought was like, okay, what are they selling now? And it really wasn't that at all. It was more just a celebration of the Star Citizen community, but it also was really there to highlight the guides system. And it's a cool little system for, you know, players to help out new players, because right now CIG should not be bothered to deal with making guides and tutorials, especially in the game. So it's also really incentivized for players. There's little forum posts and I think a ship skin as well if you reach a certain amount of people that you guided through the game, and you could use all sorts of different types of guides. I'm considering doing one for mining because it's the thing that I enjoy the most, and I actually really enjoy teaching people mining. It's a lot of fun. We also have a buyback token available this month, which is, if you guys don't know, that allows you to use store credit to buy something that you actually returned in the past. So it kind of sits in limbo where you can buy it back with store credit. So you can melt other ships and then buy them. We also had a sneak peek of the cargo stations, like we mentioned earlier in Roadmap Roundup. They're kind of coming along nicely, and it looks pretty cool here. It almost looks like there's like a train sort of system there, right? And then lastly, guys, we had a bunch of Spectrum posts from devs. So the first one I think was one of the cooler ones, and this is from Luke Presley, one of the friends of our stream, and he, I think they're going to be doing some cool stuff in 3.11. They're going to be reporting crimes now. So this allows you to say, somebody did something bad for me, would I like to report the crime or do I not want to? So this basically allows people like role players and other people that enjoy content fighting against each other without ever having the threat of going to prison. They also made a little post replying to somebody talking about the rucksack and just explaining, like they've explained many times, that iCache is needed to get to physical inventories. They also talked about, again, replying to a post about ground vehicles and how they want to be able to use basically quantum navigation so they can lock onto locations. And they said that it is something that's on the list, but it's just very low on the priority list right now, and it should be. Ground vehicles are literally pointless at this moment. Then there was another discussion about what PTU is versus live, and there was a discussion there. It's just a reminder of what they use the PTU for, really. And then another one that was kind of titled Tech Debt, but just a graphics programmer responded to this, and to be honest, it was just kind of his team's experience and not the Star Citizen's Tech Debt experience altogether, and you know, that's one of the biggest issues with Star Citizen at the moment. But yeah, guys, I think that'll really do it here, and again, a really short week, so not much to share with you guys as far as Star Citizen news, because honestly, we should have been talking about all the cool things in 3.10, and we just can't yet. So, again, this is one of those things where it's, I think you really do probably want to be patient for this one. 3.8 was rushed out. 3.9 was rushed out. Invictus didn't make 3.9 any better. And 3.10 is like our only hope to have a playable in-game experience that's not just about the visuals of the game, right? I think some people are a big fan of what the game looks like, but some of us are really excited to see what the game is going to play like. And 3.10 has a chance to shed some light on that stuff. You know, specifically, people playing in groups should be a lot easier with the player trading app and a few other things that are coming. So I'm really looking forward to that, but at the same time I just can't, I don't want them to be sticking to hard dates where we end up getting a patch that just is never going to be solid. I'm happy they're taking their time with this one, and I really hope that we end up having a great experience in 3.10. And with that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it was a little bit short, but there's not much I can do here. It's just about reporting what went on with Star Citizen this week. And yeah, I appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out yet, I did a really awesome and lengthy Answer the Call with Morphologist yesterday, so link will be up in the top left here for that. And yeah, leave a like on the video, leave some comments below, let me know what you think about 3.10 and how, do you care if it's late? Do you want them to just push it out and have it be in a horrible state where it's impossible to play? Or do you want them to take their time and really focus on quality of life like they said they would? Leave a comment below, let me know what you guys think. Hit subscribe for more weeks in review, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a great one, guys. Stay safe.